Okay, kids, it's time. It's New Year's goals and reflections time. This is a video I've been doing for I don't know how many years now. All of them? Have I been doing it for all 10 years? Maybe not quite. I don't even know. That's really interesting. I will dig up and link as many of the past years of this video. Not that anybody really cares, but mostly because I'm just curious how many years I've been doing it. I'll link them below. Okay, it's a new year. Let's be honest, it's off to a rocky start, to say the least. At least in the world, especially in the US, I'm sure in other countries too. I am an American citizen, so that is top of mind. It's been a week, okay? We're like 7 days into the new year and like, I'm laughing because I'm uncomfortable. Like, it's not funny at all. But here's what I do know. Time marches on. Regardless of what is happening globally, countrywide, in your communities, large and small, in your family, in your friend circles, in yourself. Time marches on. And time is precious. These are two things that I feel I'm keenly aware of these two things right this very second. How appropriate that there's a bunch of sirens going by at this very moment. It feels slightly ominous and also kind of in tune with what's been happening this week. It's just, we're gonna keep filming. Sirens or no, because that's what we do. I kind of want to start this video by reflecting on 2020. I have mentioned this many times now because I get asked quite a bit if I ever watch my old videos back. Generally, no. Once I edit my videos and release them to the internet, I do not like to look back at them. I just don't. Every very, very once in a while, something will come up, but the only time I regularly look back at a video is to see, I like to watch my previous year's New Year's goals and reflections video right before I film my current one. Because it's just, it's interesting, and also gives me a good framework of my mindset at the beginning of the previous year, so I can really feel like I can accurately at least reflect on it at the beginning of the new one. So I watched my 2020 New Year's goals and reflections video last night. I think, you guys, it's actually been about maybe even exactly a year since I announced my split from my now ex-husband. And then I put that video up just a little bit later than usual. And I mentioned this on Instagram. I'm on Instagram constantly. I mentioned this on Instagram last night, but wow. I mean, I was raw. That was a very raw time for me personally. It was a very difficult time in the split process. Very difficult. The most difficult time of the whole thing. And I was raw. Like, emotionally cut deep. And I was raw. And through that, even feeling that raw, what stood out to me in watching that video again was how I still had this hope and I still believed in love. And that really stuck out to me, and guess what? I still feel that way. And it has been a year. So much has happened, so much has transpired, so much has unfolded. Nobody could have seen some people saw the pandemic coming, but most of us did not see the pandemic coming. That was a surprise. And all that it brought on a large and small scale. Wow. Went through the entire divorce process from start to finish in 2020 on a personal level. Wow. I heard a quote somewhere, I think it was last fall, that people who have both been incarcerated and been through divorce say they would rather go back to jail than go through another divorce. I don't know, I'm not going to state that as a fact, but that is something that people have said. Like, divorce is not pleasant. It's not pleasant, but I'm on the other side of it. Don and I are in a really good place in terms of co-parenting and just on friendly terms, and things have really settled, like literally settled, and just otherwise it feels very settled, and that feels really good. It was tumultuous. 2020 was tumultuous. But hey, I got divorced in 2020 and I lived to tell the tale. Oh, that feels glib. Look, I don't want to minimize how difficult divorce is and how big of a struggle it is. I will say though that I am very proud of not only myself, but Dawn as well, and me and Dawn together, for going through that individually and together and coming out relatively okay. Because I know it could be a much different story, and it is for so many who go through divorce where it's just awful. And it continues to be awful past the actual divorce. And the process can be drawn out and very long, and it can, I mean, this is probably another topic, and this is another day's video, I think, but I can't do a reflection on 2020 and not address it at least a little bit and say that I am proud and I feel content. Dare I say, happy. I'm sharing this not to brag and be like, oh, look at us, but to hopefully give some hope to people in similar situations or considering divorce or going through it or whatever, that there is happiness on the other side. I don't have a partner. I don't have somebody else to like fill that void or whatever. I filled it with myself, and that's been the biggest gift of this year, is truly in 2020, I truly came back to myself, not like I ever fully left, but I felt like I started as a very young child, 100% me, and then through societal pressures and cultural conditioning and just circumstance and time, I got further and further and further away from being truly in myself. And what I mean by that is truly loving myself unconditionally. I got further and further and further away from it, and I feel like I stepped fully back into that. And it is something I have to fight for, like every day, because it goes against everything I've been taught by this world. How sad, isn't it? But I've come back, and I feel grounded, and I feel held in myself. And to me, that's God's love. That's everything. It's complete magic, but also just real love. So that's my reflection on the year that I want to share today. There's been so much up and down. There's still things I'm sifting through that unfolded in 2020 for me on a personal level. That's just taking some time, and I'm still processing, and I'm just being gentle with myself in my processing process, not to be redundant. I think that's another thing that I really, really embraced in 2020, was allowing myself the time and space and love to process, and not judging myself if I'm doing it quickly enough or right or where I'm landing, or just letting it all be as it's supposed to be and as it feels and as it is, and living through that. And that's given me, again, so much ground, but also so much forward momentum. And I'm not getting stuck anymore. So much of my anxiety from my 20s was feeling so stuck. Stuck. And it sucked. But, well, that was weird. Anyway, yeah, good times. Not good times, but forward movement, groundedness, love of self. It's making me a much better mommy. That I'm loving myself more fully. I feel like I'm just a more present, more patient, more loving mom. And I'm definitely not perfect. I make mistakes all the time. But I feel like I'm doing what I really aim to do as a parent, and that's showing up for myself to teach my children how to show up for themselves. And I feel so strongly that the only way to really teach is through leading through example as a parent. Because that's what the kids really pick up on, in my experience. I only have a almost 3 and 5-year-old, but that's been my experience in these 5 years. And that's what I know from my own experience as a child too, back in the day. So that is kind of where I want to shift now into my goals. This is something that I do every year in my bullet journal, is the very similar looking spread. And I'm going to hold it up, and if you want to pause it and take a look at it, I'll just hold it up for a second so you can look at it. What I do is on one side, I write out all of my words of the year since I've been doing a word of the year. I talked about Allie Edwards' One Little Word project for a long time. You don't have to sign up for her class or do that project or even do a similar thing to pick a word of the year. You can just pick a word and honor it however you see fit. That project really just helps me hold and carry and navigate my word and really explore it. So I really highly recommend checking it out if you want. I'll put a link below to Allie. You don't have to do the crafty bit if you don't want to. I think she even sells a journal that's really helpful if you just want to write with guided prompts. Sometimes that's really helpful, especially when you're deep diving in personal ways, and it's nice to have some structure. Anyway, so these are all of my, so I have 6 words that I've done. So I'm on my 6th year of this project. And I'll just read them for you. And they're not in order of the year. Nurture was my first year with the word, carrying a word. And then I think it went to nurture, believe, create, connect, breathe. This year is trust. I think that's the order, if that's important to you. But what I do is I have all of my words because I still carry them. Just because the year has passed doesn't mean I stop carrying those words. They're important words to me, and I find I still really carry them. And then on the other side of the page, on the other, I kind of go into a little bit more detail. So we'll just walk through these. Create, I have memory keeping and content in subcategories. This is exactly how I've put this for the past few years. For memory keeping, that's physical memory keeping. I take so many pictures. And I get so much enjoyment. It is my passion project, is memory keeping, like actual scrapbooking, if you will. One Little Word I just talked about is a very important memory keeping project. I don't even know if it's memory keeping, but it's like active, present day. I want to call it like an inner life deep dive. And then Project Life is the printing out of photos. I do scrapbook, or what do they call it? Pocket scrapbooking. It just makes it more accessible to me. It's kind of like a photo album with a little pizzazz, essentially. And I'm so super behind on that, but I keep printing the photos. So at least I have the photos in the pockets. I'm so behind. But this is why I keep journals. I should also write journaling. Should be a subtopic in here somewhere. But maybe that can kind of fall into that category, because I do keep a daily journal where I talk about things about my kids' days, just even the minutia and sometimes the big stuff, but because I'm not up to date with my memory keeping, then I can always look back at my daily journals and be like, oh, well, this is what happened on this day, and I can write that little story down or whatever. And then I have content. Obviously, that's what I do. I am a content creator. So I've got YouTube, blog, Instagram, and then I have other, because I have some projects in mind for the coming year, so we'll see if they unfold. And then the next category I have is connect. Family, friends, followers. That's you. So with family, I have stay connected, reach out. This could apply to all of the categories of connect. Friends, I have stay open. And that means, to me, that really means staying present. Be kind. This is a difficult time for people. So I'm just trying to remember to reach out and show kindness to my friends, especially. And I will connect with followers. Because, I mean, this is all of these things I've written could be under any of those categories. Under nurture, I have the subcategories kids, under which I've listed be present, be patient, listen, and encourage, which is exactly what I said last year. I copied it verbatim because it still rings true. To me, that's what I'm always trying to prioritize with my kids. Sometimes I get lost in my own you-know-what, and I don't do awesome at these things, but I try to get back there, and I always apologize when I mess up. Winnie, my little pup, she's right here sleeping. You can't see her. She's 11 now, so I've written time together. Poor Winnie, she's been such a champ. Through the infant years, she just, I don't want to say she was neglected, because she's certainly not neglected, but she was used to being the only child there was. And then I had 2 kids in 2 years, and she was not the only child there was anymore. And now that the kids are starting to get a little bit older, a little bit more independent, or a lot more independent, really, I have more time to dedicate to Winnie, and my kids are so sweet with Winnie, especially Cece. She's so gentle and sweet to her and just loves her dearly. And she knows not, like, Winnie just doesn't like to be coddled. She doesn't like to be cuddled. She doesn't like to be, like, overwhelmed with presents. But she likes a gentle belly rub. She likes being given treats. She likes being taken on walks, and the kids love doing all of those things with her. So definitely a pack vibe there, but for me specifically, Winnie is my angel, and I know our time together is limited, and it's precious and fleeting, and I try not to take that for granted. I think I'm going to say it, I did take it for granted when my kids were infants, because I didn't really have the bandwidth to do the babies and the pup in the same capacity of attention giving. And I feel like it's, giving Winnie more time together, which she appreciates very much. Self, and I've written in cursive here because I wanted to emphasize it, loving kindness. It's a constant practice for me, something I have been training myself out of negative self-talk. When I feel those thoughts coming up, I don't berate myself for having them. I'm just trying to be gentle with myself. Again, loving kindness. And have that sort of attitude towards myself. And that's helped a lot with loving myself more fully this past year. And then in home, I've written continue to settle. Home was a big priority for me in 2020 for obvious reasons. I moved out of the marital household with my kiddos and into the new house, just our little pack here, and I love it. We're still settling. There's a lot more settling to do, and it's still a huge priority, and I will be sharing more home projects with you as the year unfolds, but it's just a continuation of that priority for me. Okay, breathe was my 2020 word of the year. Very appropriate for so many reasons. So that worked out. And for me, breathing, it's physical. It's an emotional inhale, right? If you think of it in like a metaphorical terms, but I mean actually like breathing. I think I held my breath for pretty much all my adult life until last year. So I've written all of the ways that I encourage myself to remember to breathe, and the physical act of really thinking about breath. Of course I'm breathing, I'm alive, right? But I mean like really, really breathing. When I'm really breathing with intention, with love, with kindness to myself, I can do all of these other things so much better. Plain and simple. So for me, this is a physical act. So my top physical activities are in here. Yoga, I've written body mindfulness. Cycle, I've written expand. And to me, physical activity that's really aerobic helps me not only focus my mind, but focus it in a way that gives me clarity, that helps me expand. It's hard to explain. I don't know how to properly put it in words. That's just how it goes. So that's what I've written there. I don't know if that's going to make sense to anybody. I'm still kind of articulating it for myself, but haven't been able to run because of structural body issues, but cycling has become my new running, and I love it. I do Peloton, if you haven't heard me talk about it, like 18 bajillion times a day. So there it is. Dance. I would like to get back into dance. I'm working on my physical issues to be able to incorporate some more impact, and I'm hoping to get back into my cardio fitness dance program. Work is the dance program that I enjoy. It's just fun. To me, I've written joy because it absolutely delivers joy to me, plain and simple. I actually got certified to become a work instructor last fall, and I would love to be able to share the gift of work, the joy it gives, with you guys at some point if my body can handle it. So we'll see if that will unfold for me in 2021. I'm hopeful, so we'll see. And then I've written a new category here, a new subcategory, meditate. I just started a meditation practice. So I'm only 7 days in, but it is definitely breath work. And I've written quiet under meditate. And that's kind of quieting the mind, quieting the chatter. So we'll see if that's something I can stick with or not. It's not like I'm like, you have to meditate or blah, blah, blah. Do you see what I've written here? Progress, not perfection. It's just something I'm trying, and we'll see. So far, I like it. 7 days in. Next category, believe. 3 subcategories. Spirit. I've written all is connected. I do believe this. Magic. I believe in the big and small moments. I believe in magic. And I don't mean like hocus pocus, pull the rabbit out of the hat. I mean magic in the most tactile, visceral way possible. It's that spark, it's that flutter, it's that pureness. I don't know how to verbalize it again, but I believe it. And love. I wrote, don't stop believing. Don't stop. I couldn't help myself. Anyway, yeah, I could very easily be very jaded about love, romantic love in particular. I am not. I am optimistic. We shall see what unfolds in 2021. I'm sure there are adventures afoot. Winnie's grumbling. She agrees. And then lastly, the big one down here, trust, my word of the year 2021. 2 subcategories. And I mean trust in God. I've written have comfort, be guided. My relationship with God has deepened a bajillion% over the past year. And I want to continue fostering that connection, honoring it, and leaning into it. And I do lean into it heavily every day. And then trust in myself. And I've written, it's all gut and heart, girl. And to me, it's following my intuition, which I feel very strongly. I work a lot on energy. Energy is something I feel very deeply, and I prioritize those feelings, and I'm trusting myself more in those feelings. Because I'm finding as I trust myself, as I trust my gut, my intuition, my heart, I'm living more. It's not easier at all, but it's not numb, and it's not anxious, and it's not stuck, and it's not fearful. And I feel all of those things in some way, shape, or form on any given day. But I'm not stuck in those things. They don't overwhelm my experience. because I feel like I am really living. And it's painful, and it's beautiful, and it's joyous, and it's heartbreaking, and it's everything. And I feel like I stepped into myself in 2020 and I woke the F up. I woke up. I was living in a bit of a haze. I've woken up and I wouldn't trade it. Even the sharpest pain, I wouldn't trade it. I wouldn't trade it for the ease of a number existence. I want to feel all the things. I want to feel all of the highest highs and the lowest lows and everything in between. And I think that's really a lot where that my word trust is playing in this year. Is I'm trusting myself to live fully. This is it. This life, this is all that we've got. Nothing's guaranteed. I don't know which moment will be my last. So I gotta live while the living is a viable option, you know? And certainly the pandemic has crystallized that point of view for me, because it's made me even more aware of the fragility of life. I mean, everything is so fragile. We are all so fragile. So I choose to live fully. I choose to love fully. I will hurt fully. I will rejoice fully. I will have moments where I feel like I have to numb out just to cope. I will have moments where I feel like I have to scream in pain. I will have moments where I have to dance with joy. I will have moments where I have to sit quietly with myself. And I will have moments where I don't know what to do. But I trust that it's all part of my journey. And it's the stuff of life. And I want to live it. And I am living it to its fullest. All right, friends. Well, that felt really good in what's just been a really weird and difficult emotional day, personally, and I think for many in this country. Felt good to sit down and share those things and reflect with you. And I am an optimist. I am an optimist. I choose to believe in hope and love and joy and connection and magic and all those things. And it's not that I see the world through glitter glasses, or what do they say, rose-colored glasses. I don't. Believe me, I do not. But I do choose to believe in the good. So here's to 2021. May we all find some peace, some comfort, some calm, some joy. There's going to be sadness, there's going to be hardship, there's going to be loss. But may there also, in those things, be growth, and above all else, boundless, boundless love. And a snoring dog. I don't know if the microphone's going to pick that up, but Winnie is definitely snoring. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me in 2020. And I can't wait to share. I'm so excited to share with you in 2021 this adventure of life. Here we go. All right, you guys. Thank you for watching. Happy New Year. Wishing you all a blessed and beautiful year. And I'll see you real soon.